everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Emily and today we're doing something a little different. I have always wanted to start bullet journaling, but I've always been way too intimidated to start one. But since I am publishing a book this year, I thought it would be a great idea to start a bullet journal just for the books I've read this year, the writing I've done, and to keep track of all my publishing experiences. So I am starting a bullet journal for the very first time, even though it is June in the middle of the year, and I also totally do not have the correct filming equipment or setup to do this type of video the normal way you see, and if that isn't the most on-brand thing ever, I don't know what is. But despite how funky the layout is, I hope you guys really enjoy this video. I already have a planner that I use that I just bought from Michael's that is my sort of everyday planner that I write down school stuff and freelance work stuff and everything else, so I didn't want to spend too much time making this one of those types of bullet journals where there's a layout for every single day. I just want to have as much fun with this as I possibly can and have spreads that work best for me and help me organize my thoughts about what I'm doing creatively over the year. So this spread is just a January through May spread. It's me writing down the books I've already read, the stories I've written, and the publishing things I've gotten done so far this year, so I can still sort of keep track of everything I've done this year even though it's half over. I wanted to keep it pretty minimalist. There's going to be some little bit of painting and color added later, but this is basically the layout I'm going with, is mostly black and white, some sort of fancy cursive writing, and some line work. On the next page, I'm doing a 2020 reads spread. I have a Goodreads goal of 30 books to read this year. I've already read about 10 or 11, I'm not entirely sure. I wasn't big on the really popular spread that is drawing out an actual bookshelf, even though I think that's a really cool idea. It's just not something I was interested in doing, so I just did little decorations of books along the top and some vines, as well as the numbered list of books. On the next spread, I have my goals for writing and publishing over the course of the year. I am pretty happy with how that goals written out along the side ended up looking. I've just got a brush pen that I've had for a long time, and I'm using a regular pen, and even though it definitely bleeds through to the other side, I kind of like the partially messy used look that it creates. Since I have a lot more publishing goals than I do writing goals, the first about a third of the page is my writing goals, and then the bottom 2/3 or so and the entire right side of the page are my publishing goals. I have a list of those on my computer that I am going to keep on my computer but transfer over to paper as well, so I can have the satisfaction of checking them off. This next page is a list of things I'm grateful for. I'm only fitting about 18 on this page. I'll probably do a monthly spread for this as well, but I wanted to have this here as a more general things I'm grateful for page that I can look back on. This spread over here is actually a school assignment, but I thought it would be cool to keep it memorialized in the bullet journal as well. One of my professors wanted us to do 3 different versions of a 5-year plan for our lives, and this spread ended up pretty messy in the end, but that's okay. This is my first bullet journal ever, and little mistakes are just fine. I really like this brush pen that I'm using, but it didn't always turn out perfectly. I know how to write in cursive, but I haven't really practiced that bullet journaling type of cursive that you see all over the internet, so I'm just doing the best I can. Again, I definitely went a little overboard with the vines on this page, so it looks a little cluttered, but that's okay. Life is messy, and so am I. And if any of you are going, oh my god, about the red all over my ruler, it's from when I was a little kid and I let a crayon sit on top of the ruler and melt during a hot day. Everybody relax, it is not the blood of my enemies. And I'm not going to write 5-year spread on each page, I'm just doing the second one and the third one with the number 2 and the number 3 and some little vines. The rest of the video here, I'm just going through and adding a little bit of this blue and a little orangey color to the flowers. I ended up messing around and doing little paint splatters along the flowers, which is probably one of the reasons the 5-year plan spread ended up looking so messy, but I kind of really like it. I've always liked that type of look with paint splatters and stuff, and it was fun to actually get to do it. I don't actually own any brush pens or any of those types of things that people normally make bullet journals with, because I want to give this a try before I go and invest in expensive pens. But I do have watercolors laying around the house, so that was a lot of fun to mess around with. So now that I'm done, here is my 2020 title page. It has a little key along the bottom showing what each of the little tasks or completed marks look like, with some flowers along the top and sides. Again, the next page is the January through May books read, words written, and publishing goals completed. I'm going to fill out the stuff that I did later. Here is the 2020 reads section. Again, I've read about 10 or 11 books this year, and I will get those filled out very soon as well. My writing, publishing goals, this is one of my favorite spreads, I think, just because it's so simple, and I really like how the goals turned out along the side of the page. There's a list of things I'm grateful for, and as you can see, the paint splatters on the 5-year plan are pretty intense, but it still looks kind of cool. My teacher's going to think I'm absolutely insane though, but that's okay. So that is it. That is my very first bullet journal spread. I hope you guys enjoyed this style of video, even though it is totally weird and my setup is funky and my camera did actually fall over once during filming. I'm planning on doing a June spread as well, which will be a little more complicated because I have lots of publishing things to do over the course of the month, so I will be drawing out some calendars and such. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe down below and hit the little notification bell. I upload videos on Mondays or Fridays, sometimes both days, and I will see all of you guys next week. Bye!